So I suppose the way that most people think about domestic violence is that it's aggression or violence, and that someone has to have actually physically done something in order to for it to qualify as domestic violence. But that's not the case, and often domestic violence can include intimidation, threats, manipulation, emotional abuse as well as isolation and creating difficulties for people in their relationships with others, which helps the perpetrator by separating them from their support. Domestic violence is a range of complex behaviours that form a pattern of, can be violent behaviour, aggressive behaviour, but also other types of abuse as well. So it can be sexual abuse, emotional abuse, spiritual abuse, isolation, but it's certainly in a pattern of behaviour that someone perpetrates on somebody else. So I think there are a couple of things that are important there. I think the first one is to understand, to educate yourself, and to, where possible, educate and support the other person. But I think the most important thing is to be compassionate and understanding of the complexities of domestic violence and why it isn't always easy to leave and why there are risks in leaving, and to be as supportive and compassionate with them in their situation as you can be. An individual can engage with their psychologist, with a GP. There are a number of organisations available to support directly with domestic violence situations, including DV Connect and 1-800-RESPECT. And obviously in an emergency it will be important to call 000 if you do have concerns about your safety in a domestic violence situation. So we have psychologists available that people can engage with to discuss for those experiencing domestic violence, and they can also help with managing appropriate interpersonal relationships as well, which can be preventative for conflict in relationships, as well as our clinical programs, so our skills for recovery programs, including our STARE program.